I think BO2 has probably aged the best.
Yeah.
I think like I think if you had ran that poll at the time, BO2 wouldn't have won. Because I remember BO2 like
People
it
hated it in the beginning.
People hated it a lot.
Yeah.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Going Dark podcast. This is episode 15, Chop, and we're at a special location for our first live show.
Yeah, it's a little different. I mean, not too crazy or anything, but it's actually the first time I've ever been seen in HD quality ever, by the way.
That feels great.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. I won't lie. It's pretty good.
And we are in front of a live crowd. There are hundreds of people lined up.
Literally thousands.
Out the door.
There they are. I hear them.
You might be able to hear them in the mic, and it's crazy. You got Belichick in the booth. We got Brady in the booth. Judy's
the
here.
roar of the crowd right now is crazy. We kind of had to like insulate it a little bit. There's just so many people.
We're
in the
boxed down
function
here.
right now.
We're far away. But today
wild.
we're doing the Call of Duty Awards, brought to you by the folks at home. Because I did a couple polls on our channel, and we are going over pretty much the best of the best campaign, multiplayer, zombies, Warzone.
I think it's kind of funny that like we every week we come on here, we give our opinions about stuff, but like and y'all judge us and you cook us based on like our thoughts. But now we're turning the table on you guys.
Yeah. Now we can make fun of you guys.
Yeah. Now we get to be the internet guy today. That's kind of cool.
So let's start us off. We got the campaign, and simple. What Call of Duty has the best campaign? I did 4 options.
Yeah, we should mention how we like did this. So it was a community post, and you had like 4 of what you would consider to be, or what we consider to be like
The best of the best.
yeah, really good
For the most
contenders.
part.
Yeah, sure. But then there was also an option for people to, if you have a differing opinion, to comment it and leave it there. So it's kind of like we have what we would assume would be the fan favorites already, and see what kind of percentage margin they won by.
So Modern Warfare 2, BO2, BO1, and of course we got others. So we got some comments down below. But Modern Warfare 2 wins in a landslide. And no, I'm not talking about the new Modern Warfare 2.
But let's make that really clear. This is
2009.
MW2 2022.
This is 2009, and it won 56% of the votes out of 162,000 votes.
I can't believe that.
I'm offended.
A little bit. Me too. Like, it's a great campaign. Don't get me wrong, but winning by that big of a margin, I don't understand. Why do you think that is?
I think it might be
especially compared to like right next to BO1. Huh?
Yeah,
the GOAT exists.
BO1 got second place, 22%. BO2 at 16%, and then a couple other votes were World at War, COD 4. Like that was your top 2. So that's like your 5 best campaigns. I don't know. I guess MW2's just got that soft spot in a lot of people's hearts with the game itself, and the campaign was the first one we kind of got that was like a Michael Bay feel, where it was like crazy. I do remember a couple missions on that though. I will say
on MW2.
On MW2, like the snowmobile.
Yeah, I mean, there's some iconic
one where you jump across.
Yeah, I mean, everybody thinks about like the moment where Shepard betrays you, and the end. I think the ending's really good. I think like
that could be the twist, but I don't know. BO1's got some twists.
BO1 has way more twists. I would argue BO1 is like, but I mean, the thing is they're different, right? Because we've talked about this a lot before. Modern Warfare campaigns are like the big action movies, and then like. Not that Black Ops doesn't have those elements, but they focus a lot more on like the psychological aspects, and
which is amazing.
It's different, and I think it's going to work differently for different people. But MW2 winning still by that big, I expected it to be like neck and neck with BO1 or
I was going to
BO2.
say, what did you think was going to win?
I thought BO1 was going to win just by a little bit.
I thought BO2 was going to win. I feel like the multiple choices was the first time we got that in like the campaign, so. Having the different endings, I thought that was going to blow people away.
But the problem with that is, I bet you a lot of people probably played the BO2 campaign and got like a bad ending, and were like, "Yeah, this one's
this
mid.
game sucks."
I'm throwing it out. But
I was honestly, for me,
there's no honorable mention. Like, bro, where's IW? Y'all ever played the Infinite Warfare campaign?
You know what's crazy? I don't see a single IW comment on them. I'm still scrolling. I
cannot believe that.
I got ghosts over IW.
No. See, this is where we're gonna have to.
Okay, here you go. After 15 scrolls, you were my brother, Ethan. 120 upvotes though.
Hey, those 120 people, they got taste.
Is that your number one?
I don't think I would say it's my number one.
Your BO1, right?
It's probably in my top 3.
So give me your top 3.
All right, top 3. It's got probably BO1 will be number 1.
MW3, the new one.
Yes, yeah. Modern Warfare 3. You know, chat. We love the wrap up of Captain Price. The whole storyline definitely got wrapped up
Yes,
there for
that
sure,
was
for sure,
great,
for sure.
great
And
story.
Ghost, or I'm sorry, Soap is 100% dead.
He's fine.
Definitely. Yeah,
That
he's
wasn't
good.
him.
But yeah, anyways, no, but for real, probably my second pick would be. It's between BO2 and IW, but gun to my head, I'm going to say BO2.
Okay.
3, I might say IW. I think that would be my list there.
IW is very good. I don't know if I can put a top 3 though.
What didn't you prefer about it? What prevents it from being a top 3?
I just don't think it matches like the Black Ops quality. It'd be I would probably be BO1, BO2, World at War.
That's
like
fair.
that little like trifecta is just it hits.
The thing with IW is that I felt that it got like
It got just crapped on right off the rip.
true.
It stood no chance.
Sure. No, yeah, 100%. I mean, it was the most like disliked trailer I think ever on YouTube at the time that it came out.
It was like gaming at first, and then it got so bad that it's like over baby Justin Bieber, I believe.
It went real wild. Yeah, no, it is. But I feel like the campaign in that game is like the perfect blend of they actually made it cinematic without making it, you know, like Vanguard or like MW3, where
Yes.
it's just like hours of cutscene.
So why do you think it's MW2? Because I feel like there's a little nostalgia, but at the same time, you can say that about every single one of the CODs in
Yeah,
the Golden Age.
that
So
is
I guess
true.
that's not a good answer, but
I'm not totally sure, and I've been trying to rack my brain.
maybe
but
just because everybody's favorite COD, so they just classify. You know what? That's my favorite campaign too.
Yeah, and I think it's a very easy story to like latch on to as well.
Yeah.
Very easy to get involved in that. Even if you didn't play COD 4, I think.
You don't really need it.
You don't you don't need requisite information of COD 4. I feel like with, you know, old Modern Warfare 3, I feel like you kind of need to have played MW2 to
Yes.
appreciate what's going on there.
Yes,
But that's
100%.
not the case with MW2, which is odd. But
Maybe that's why it was a standalone story, kind of.
yeah,
Like you could just pick it up and you were good, and then the story kind of had an ending.
yeah, that's like, this is a tangent we won't go down, but it's kind of like Star Wars, like original Star Wars movies where they work as their own standalone film.
Yep.
But there's like an overarching thing across all of the films, and I think that's kind of what worked about the old Modern Warfare trilogy.
Yeah.
And I think MW2 is probably like prime example. I think that's why it won. I could be wrong. I don't agree with that pick necessarily.
I mean,
but hey,
56% is kind of wild to me.
Dude, yeah,
Like, I thought it would be like 33, 33, 33.
me too. That is
I might have to-
surprising. I can't
gotta-
lie.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, that's insane.
My community needs to get it together, man. It's,
I would be curious to see, like, if I ran the poll with my audience, if it would be different. And that's
Maybe.
going to be the case for maybe a few of these that we do.
yeah. I
'Cause it
agree.
really depends on like the sample size and like who's interested in what.
So, should we just go to multiplayer? You want to keep moving?
Yeah.
So next up, Call of Duty. Which one has the best multiplayer and options? We kind of honestly, truthfully. Well, let me stop there. I actually threw a wild one in here, and you're not gonna like this. I did BO2, MW2 OG,
Yeah.
and MW19 because there's a lot of people out there, man, that love MW19, regardless of what you think about that game. And
It's got a bit of like a cult following now.
it's got a new generation of player, I think, with
Yeah.
MW19. But here's the good news: BO2 won in a landslide. 66% of the votes, 141,000 votes that you guys did, and again, 66%. MW2 was 17, and MW19 was 11.
I'm looking at this right now, dude. How?
I'm telling you. And then comments wise, OG COD 4's in there, MW3, the OG one. Every time I say MW3, I'm obviously referring to the old one. Same thing with MW2.
Wait. So let's talk about that for a second, because what I want to know, if MW2 won by like a literal landslide in the as far as like campaign goes, but then it's almost neck and neck with Modern Warfare 2019. I feel like we have this weird split of like new school COD players and like what I guess are now the old heads.
Here's what I'm going to say about MW2, and I've said it in previous podcasts. If the game came out today, the whole thing would be ripped to shreds.
Mm-hmm.
It would have made it 2 weeks without something being nerfed, whether it was one-man army, noob tube, the lunge knife from Commando Pro. I mean, what else? You can keep going.
Yeah. Do you think it's like because, you know, Twitter is now so
Bad.
focused, bad, but also focused on like hyper competitiveness that MW2 would
Everything had to be
have
even.
made
Everything
up.
has to be even.
Yeah, but here's the weird thing. I feel like I've noticed that games that tend to not focus on the overbalancing of its systems tend to be the most competitively viable.
Yeah.
Like weirdly enough, like Halo 3. You know, they didn't really make Halo 3 with MLG in mind.
Yeah.
Same thing with like, you know, with zombies, like Black Ops 3 was the most like competitively
I was gonna say
viable
That's
game.
the first game I thought it was. Black
Yeah,
Ops
exactly.
3.
And they didn't make it with the intent of it being like, oh, you know, we got to balance for this. You know,
It was all over the place.
That's how it was, right? And MW2 is like clearly the polar opposite end, the other way.
Yeah.
But it still had a competitive scene, despite all of its like, you know, objective shortcomings.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how that ended up like that.
What is your best multiplayer?
Oh man.
Because here's the crazy thing. I know BO2 is probably my favorite COD,
Mm-hmm.
but the more I think about it, BO3 multiplayer was kind of insane.
Yeah,
like-
I was literally right when you said that question, bro.
Replayability.
Yeah, right. Literally, right when you set that up, that's what came to mind. You know, it's tough because we have so many to pick from, and there's so many classics. I tend to think BO3
I think I might be with you.
because I think it has like
Specialist variety, which I like. Maps were great. Combine, Fringe. Why hasn't Fringe been remastered?
dude. You know what's funny is like almost none of the BO3 maps have ever made it back.
Which is wild because
the
the
game.
game could be played boots on the ground so easily.
Yeah,
Like there was only like one map probably, which was what would you say, Evac, where it was
Evac,
that
yeah,
little
that wouldn't
middle. There was that little middle platform that you could jump to. And
yeah,
wall
that
run
wouldn't work
to.
so well. There was like, oh
But
my
they could
god, what was
easily
that one
fix
like
that. Bring the
Redwood
wall. They
Forest
could
map?
bring
Yeah.
the wall in.
Yeah, I think the point is though is like they made those maps with still like classic Call of Duty in mind.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
like you know you remember the AW playlist that had no exos and it was really
It was
bad.
awful.
Didn't work. But I think I would say BO3 just because like it has the what I love about Call of Duty, but it's innovative enough where it's like I could play this and it's got more to learn.
Yeah.
And I think that was like Treyarch at their peak. That was like Von der Haar's baby was
Yeah.
BO3's
He was cooking.
multiplayer.
He
Yeah,
was cooking.
for sure.
I think BO1 too would be up there for me. There actually wasn't a ton of BO1 votes in the comments.
Really?
Oh, actually there was. I'm lying. Ton of BO1. Totally lying there. But I think
I think the problem with BO1 was
Ghost.
almost.
Last Stand.
Well, okay, yeah, there was a couple jank things on BO1, but I think really for me the biggest problem was more just like the technical stuff. Like I don't know if you remember, like Black Ops like notoriously just felt a little more janky.
Connection was pretty bad.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that game,
like
too.
it just felt a little more.
Yeah.
it wasn't as polished, but I mean, as far like balance and if it was fun, everything, yeah, I loved it.
I mean, I feel like that was one of the most fun multiplayers. Like wager matches
Yeah,
coming out.
man. They had
Betting
the
COD points.
bro. When they had COD points that you didn't
That
have
were
to
fake.
pay real Skrilla for.
Yeah,
That's kinda crazy.
I mean, you got Nuketown, you got Firing Range, you got Summit that came from
That's
that
where
game.
Nuketown was born, by the way.
So you got some iconic things happening there.
You want to know what's something really funny? I don't know if we've mentioned this before, but Nuketown took Treyarch like 2 days to make.
I feel like that's usually what happens with like good songs and stuff too. People are like, "Yeah, I did this in like we were just hanging out and I put it together in like 12 hours."
Or you probably have that with like videos. I don't know. if this
Like video
happens to you,
ideas
like-
sometimes, like
Yeah,
those
where it's
pop
like
in your
a
head, you're
video
like,
that you
"Whoa."
work on for like a day. You just like throw
Oh,
it
I
out
just
the
did
door.
it. I did.
Yeah, you just did one, man.
I worked on a video for 2 weeks and it's a 9 out of 10 right now. So make sure you go
Exactly.
watch that, please.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, that's always how it goes, huh? But I think Nuketown made BO1. It wasn't setting out to be iconic. Nuketown was just a
Yeah,
fun map.
yeah.
That, it wasn't trying to be anything that was supposed to be like carrying the Black Ops franchise. It just was what it was, and people end up attaching to it.
I loved Black Ops 1 actually. I think too that was Black Ops 2 had it as well, but you know what's so special about these old CODs where
What?
you have guest players and you can just beat down those people. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, hey man, when you get in a lobby
yeah.
and you would see the two
guest.
on the end,
Oh,
like
man, it was
in the
just,
little parentheses,
you
dude. If
knew
you
you were
were
about to have fun.
man, if you were in a lobby full of parentheses on Christmas, like
Oh,
it was over.
What do I miss those times?
Yeah, why don't we have that anymore? You could.
I
say
think we know why.
FPM. Do you think so?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't want
I
to get
think
their feelings hurt.
I think it's true. I think it's partially that, but I also think it's partially that like people don't really split screen game anymore.
I think they would though.
You think?
I do think that because I think co-op games are maybe they wouldn't do it as much as they did back in the day, but I think that they would.
Yeah.
brother, sister, brother. You know, they only got one Xbox at the house. You know, mom's making them split screen that thing.
Yeah, I just feel like people don't like play like split screen very much. I mean, and like, it's not really a priority for devs. Like Halo Infinite had split screen after like a year and a half or something. It's
Yeah,
like,
I don't know why they didn't just release with that. I mean, obviously that Halo had a major.
but the
issue from
point
the
is
beginning.
like not having split screen like completely eliminates that getting into a lobby with where you knew that you were just about to
Yeah,
have a
well,
great
I had
game.
a Snapchat memory pop up the other day, and it was playing a LAN with my buddies on Black Ops 2.
Oh wow,
And we were all there was like 4 TVs and the whole thing, and I'm like, oh man,
you remember LAN parties?
that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, not that you can't do that today, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's just not as frequent because you just don't.
They've made it like set up where it's much more convenient and they catered to it where you want to be in your own setup, like just isolated, but connect online. But
Yep.
like physical LAN parties just aren't as common
They
anymore.
just-
I mean, that's ironic saying it where we are.
We're in a LAN center
Yeah,
right now,
right.
so let's bring
Right.
it back, folks.
Yeah,
I
that's
get-
interesting though.
Before we move on to the next category, why do you think that they chose BO2?
I think BO2 has probably aged the best.
Yeah.
I think like I think if you had ran that poll at the time, BO2 wouldn't have won because I remember BO2 like I mean
People
it was
hated it in the
great.
beginning.
People hated it a lot.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning. And even like, well, I would say like probably near the end of its life cycle, Ghost comes out.
Ugh.
And I can't speak for anybody else, but I know, dude, the night Ghost came out on the midnight release, I played with my friend. We played it for like 2 or 3 hours and we went back to BO2 that same night when a brand new Call of Duty's out. We played it for like 3 hours. We're like, nah.
It was terrible.
We played Stonehaven one too many times and we said, all right, we're heading back.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember playing BO2 that whole entire second year. I think I played the campaign of Ghost, played a couple rounds, played a little S&D on a couple of those maps, but I'm like,
Man, even when I
BO2
when I
still-
think about it, even when
BO2 still-
Advanced Warfare was out,
Might have
like
been.
I still felt like I was playing a lot of BO2. I just think it's one of the best aged games.
and they kept like League play and stuff open. So
Mhm.
we played League play like a
And there's
couple
so
years
much
after
like,
the
yeah,
fact.
and there's so
Now
much
they
to
shut
do
it down.
on it.
Now
Right.
they-
Yeah.
So
yeah, they did.
you can't go back to Vanguard, or not that you would, but Vanguard or MW2 or MW19. Like you don't go back to ranked play on that because they just shut the servers down.
yeah.
But BO2 they didn't.
And that's kind of the thing with like BO2 when I'm thinking about it. That's why I think it aged well, is because like they made the game to be intact over time. They just like made
That's
a
actually
really
a
cool
really good
game
point.
and they said that's just gonna like you can access this at any point.
That's going to be the game you play.
Yeah, yeah. Well, man, it makes me think of like with MW3 Zombies. That's an online only thing where like you're in a big map with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But I'm like, when they take the servers off, you literally can no longer access that mode. It's not like right now. If I had a PS3 and BO1, I could load up Keynote or Toten right now and play it anytime I want. Not the case with MW3, or at least at some point in time won't be, because it'll just be gone.
That's sad.
Yeah,
That is
I,
sad.
I,
Now
I
I'm
like
depressed.
games that are like built to last, man, and I think that's why BO2 won. On top of it just being like exceptionally fun.
I wonder if that's your point with the next couple games being not very good to a lot of people. Then they went back to it. So you had, I mean, you might be right. We might have played BO2 for 3 years.
I know I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I would dabble in the new games, but I was playing BO2.
It's crazy. I didn't even think about
That
that.
kind of makes me think of like, well, not to get off topic here, but with BO6 is like, I'm pretty sure the rumor right now, or not even a rumor, I think they confirmed it, that you need to be connected online to even play zombies. Like there's no offline play, which is, terrible for reasons we won't get into, but like for high rounders and stuff, like you just can't do
You can't
that.
pause your game.
Yeah,
That's sad.
no good.
So, speaking of Black Ops 6, not really. We're going to transition to the best third mode in Call of Duty. Listen, this shouldn't take very long. We got zombies, we got Spec Ops, we got Extinction, and we got DMZ.
Now we're gonna get into zombies here in a second,
And
but like,
DMZ won. No, I'm just kidding.
yo, I was about to be like, huh?
Zombies won at 86% out of 156,000 votes. I didn't think that this one would be very close, to be honest with you. Spec
Yeah.
Ops was second, Extinction was third, and DMZ was fourth.
I mean, this one's not even close.
This one's not even close. But there is a comment. Extinction was very underrated.
Okay.
I fell asleep playing Extinction. Mid round.
I love that. Here's what I'll say about Extinction. I actually feel like if I had ran this poll with my audience, I think it would have been Zombies and Extinction, like would have been top two.
Yeah.
I think Extinction works for like some zombie fans, but I don't think it's like very palatable for
Yeah.
people that just play like multiplayer or campaign or
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
Because it's just very odd.
I just tried to play it the other day, and I was drilling some sort of something.
I was drilling a
I was
nest
drilling.
or
What was I
something,
drilling? I was
and
drilling a nest,
aliens
and then
come
the
out.
zombies came out of nowhere, or
The cryptids.
yes, the cryptids, and
Yeah.
I was just very confused on what was going on.
What did you play the first map?
I played the first map where you're at like
Nightfall?
it was like a abandoned town. It
Yeah, I
felt
think
like
Nightfall.
That's what I feel like with Ghost. It didn't help the game that it was so dull looking.
Yeah.
Especially you get BO2, it's this bright, colorful, and then
Dude, yeah.
even like the transit was more colorful than any map
Basically,
in Ghost.
It's just depressing to look at, and for me, like that's one of the subconscious reasons I think I didn't want to play it. It's just not nice to look at.
Did you dive into that at all?
Into Extinction?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But it's not like zombies for me. I had a comment that was really funny. I should have screenshotted it to like actually quote it right, but somebody in my comments was like, he commented on my Ghost review. And in that video, I had said that like the color palette and the art design of Ghost just is not very good.
Yeah, no, not
it's
at all.
Not a good game to look at. And then this guy goes, as someone who has an art degree,
Oh, no.
I can verify that Ghost has an exceptional art design. You're wrong for thinking. And he,
I love
he gave me
YouTube
this
comments.
big lore document about like why the game looks like dusty because I said I don't care. It's not nice to look at.
No. I mean,
Mr. Art Degree.
Listen, this might upset a lot of people out there, but there was a reason why Fortnite got so popular. It was good. It was to look at that game. It was like it was just great. The OG graphics and the OG art design of the first map, special.
You make a game that looks and looking good does not mean like it
Like
doesn't.
HD super graphics.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't always mean hyper realism. It's just that you make a game that is like fundamentally aesthetically pleasing to look at. And Ghost just isn't.
No.
Yeah, it fits the theme, sure, but it's like this war-torn, almost like post-apocalyptic thing, but like it's just not good to look at.
Yeah, but even World at War was that vibe.
Yeah.
But it just.
But I don't
did
have
it
the same
better.
complaint there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe because it was World War II, we expected it to be like that. But anyway, yeah. So we knew Zombies was going to win that. I think that's a great pick by the crew. So far, I agree with their multiplayer choice.
I was thinking out of what? Zombies, DMZ, Spec Ops. We should talk about Spec Ops for a second.
Go ahead.
Because- Just for a second, because I think it's interesting. Like Spec Ops was obviously, just kind of them rehashing like old campaign stuff.
Yes.
In the beginning. Did you ever play Spec Ops on Modern Warfare 2019?
No, but I heard it was terrible.
It is real bad. Oh man, it is real
I
rough.
wasn't jumping to go play that anyway. And
No.
then when I heard it was bad, I'm like, okay.
Not that this would have won or anything, and I guess you could maybe label it zombies, but there's a third mode you forgot about to add. Onslaught.
Oh, wow.
You know what that is?
Is that MW3?
No, man. Maybe, but not what I'm thinking of. I think there is something called Onslaught, but
Is
it's
it
not what I was thinking
Onslaught a
about.
game mode or something on an old COD?
It's in Cold War, and
Oh.
you can play like zombies on the multiplayer maps. It's
Kinda-
very simple. Like there's
Oh.
nothing really to it. You just kind of survive in this little like bubble.
I don't
but
mind that.
It's kind of fun. I actually like it. I mean, it's not better than like proper
Regular zombies,
but
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool.
That actually kind of sounds fun.
You can play on
It's
every
it's
MP
the
map.
pickup. It's the pickup thing for me with zombies. I want to
Yeah.
just pick it up, play
It's
a
the perfect
couple
mode
rounds,
for that.
and
You don't
get
even
out
have
of
to
it.
pack a punch. You just like every couple of rounds you get like an elite wave, and when you kill the boss, like they can drop a ether tool to upgrade your gun or like a pack a punch trophy. That pack a punch, it's that simple. It's pretty
love
cool.
that.
Not that it would have been a contender, but it's sick.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I was gonna say you could almost classify that as zombies, but it's
Yeah.
not. It's not the same. I'm glad that DMZ got dead last
Yeah,
because
man.
the year that they tried to make DMZ the headliner, it was the most disgusting thing I've ever witnessed. In my
there
entire
are
life.
some fellas out there.
There
DMZ
might
has
be
a
people out in
cult
the crowd
following.
that like DMZ.
Hey, yo, any y'all out in the
Anybody
crowd, like,
DMZ fans
yo, who,
out
who
there?
likes DMZ?
There's no. It's quiet as
That one guy in the back likes DMZ.
we kicked him out. He's gone.
Yeah, mods, you know what to do. Yeah. Anyways, but DMZ was not doing it for me, and I think it's just caters to like a really specific audience. And again, like I even told devs this that I
So
think
did I.
they think that players play every aspect of the game equally, and that's just not true.
Not even close.
No, like I'm a zombies guy. I would imagine you're not a zombie guy.
I
You'll
used to be
dabble
a
in it.
Warzone guy, and that was it. I played Cold War multiplayer to rank my guns up and go back to Warzone. And now I feel like
It's like, who's DMZ for? It's not for zombies, guys. It's really
I think they were just trying to pull people from the extraction game mode. Like if you were an Escape fan, they'd be like, "Oh, well, they don't probably like Call of Duty, but we might be able to get them over because we got
casual
DMZ."
Tarkov, yeah.
So I think that was probably their goal, and in turn sent a lot of people away.
Yeah, I think a lot of people got well, and also like again, it kind of bled into like zombies design. Not that MW3, not that zombies has ever been like a Modern Warfare staple, but
Yeah.
they did zombies, and it's practically DMZ.
Yeah. So zombies wins quite big, and so we asked the next question with zombies after that poll kind of happened with 141K votes. Which is the best zombies? And Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and then other. And this is probably our closest
This is our
vote.
most competitive one.
This is our
yeah.
closest vote. We have the winner, Black Ops 2 at 35%, and I think you're going to be falling over by that.
I mean, it's followed closely by BO1 at 33 and BO3 at 28%. Now, I will say this. I guarantee if I ran this poll, BO3 would have
Won by a landslide.
crushed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then other,
World at War.
World at War, World War II, IW zombies, and
I like that W Zombies.
AW. Let's not forget that.
Ugh.
IW zombies is pretty good. AW, besides Noah J, no one likes it. You know, AW is one of Noah J's favorite zombie games. EXO.
Is that? Didn't you start with no EXO in the beginning?
Yep. You have no exosuit in the beginning, and it plays really weird and clunky. It kind of plays like the multiplayer playlist without him.
Yeah.
But then you get him at some point. I don't know what it is, but Noah J loves it. Last time I played Descent with them, there's a video of it. I had a terrible time, bro. I literally had to stop playing the game. I went to go to Taco Bell in the middle of our match
Oh, that sounds so good right now.
because, I couldn't play. It's bad. Anyways.
There's not one AW comment in this entire 1,000 comments.
Yo,
so
there's one that Noah J's burner's going.
Noah
"Yo,
J's
don't forget
Burner's
about
in there, and he's going, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So BO2, I mean, what? How do you
Okay,
feel?
I mean-
here's what I'm saying about BO2. People hate transit.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys that I loved it. I thought it was so fun.
So-
I'm running around. I'm leaving my buddies on the bus. And, I'm going, I'm in here pack-a-punching. And then I'm just actually in the bus, and I'm hitting the guy. And I'm
Right.
like, let's get out of here.
It's
And then-
fun,
And
right?
you see them running through. And what do they call those? Don't tell me. Denizens?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
baby.
Got it right.
So I just remember my buddies having them things on all over their body. And then
You had fun, right? That's
it
what
was
you remember.
it was fun.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, I'm not surprised BO2 won for a couple of reasons. One is kind of what you said. As far as transit goes, like undeniably, I think it's a really bad map. It's just bad. It's not well designed. Like literally,
That hurts.
the whole reason the fog is there, like the map was not supposed to have fog. But
Yeah.
the fog is there because the map, like
The hardware.
the hardware restrictions, it's got to load in front of you, so they got to cover that up. Not a very good map.
Yeah.
But it's fun as hell. And I think that's just because of how chaotically it was designed. It
Yes.
kind of creates those moments. I think Transit's a bit of like lightning in a bottle. And I know the zombies community has been like pining for a Transit remaster. And I've kind of entertained the idea too. But I'm kind of scared of one as well.
Well, isn't it coming to BO3 modded?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Not
yeah,
like
sure.
a legit.
Yeah,
a
there's
legit
custom
one.
maps of it, but I think people want an official one. It kind of freaks me out because
Bringing
I
that
just
back?
don't think a game developer in modern day, I don't think they could help themselves about like fixing everything up. There's so many, like it's a big mess, and like you walk into your room and it's like literally a disaster. You couldn't help but start like putting things away.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of like Transit in modern day. But then you could make the argument that would like reduce the charm of it.
It would kind of ruin it. Like
Yeah.
if you could see through the smoke.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you could go out to the what was the map that you could get to by going through the cornfield? What's that map called from
Farm?
World at War? No.
Nocturne Tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's
you
the,
could
what's the
get to
MP
Nocturne
airfield? It's the multiplayer name.
Yeah, yeah.
But I remember doing that and just being so blown away.
Well, the
I'm
whole
like,
reason
wow,
the
this is the
denizens-
coolest thing ever.
The denizens are so funny, but the whole reason they exist is because of
slow
the
you down,
hardware
right?
limitations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny in hindsight, but that would never happen now.
But you know me, BO2, another one I'm sucker for Buried.
Yeah, we were
I
talking about
love
this
that
last
map,
night.
man. It's something special.
Okay, so what is it about Buried?
I liked how simple it was, but I liked the Western theme. I thought that was cool. I liked I always say Larry, but it's Lenny, right?
Leroy.
Leroy. It's not
Almost.
It's
actually,
Leroy.
actually, I hear a lore nerd, someone in the crowd. He's going, actually, it's Arthur.
Yeah. So
Name's
I like
Arthur,
that guy
technically.
running around and going, that whole thing. And
The thing with
just,
Buried that's interesting
it just
is
hit.
compared to Mob of the, because we played Mob of the Dead recently,
I did like Mob of the
and
Dead.
you might know that the way we played Mob, like that map is a lot more structured than Buried is.
Yes.
Like, it's like do this thing.
Yes.
Get the, you know what I mean? Buried is like literally it's the map. You can build some craftables if you want to. You don't have to, but
I don't think I
it
did.
gives you like Buried is a sandbox, whereas like Mob is like a linear game.
I think I'm a sandbox guy.
You're a sandbox
I think
guy.
I'm a sandbox zombie guy.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
I mean, and maybe that's why I don't know. I was gonna say maybe that's why BO2 won, but
Well, I think the other thing with BO2, why it won is because like unlike any other zombies game, BO2 is a special case because like the way that Jimmy Zielinski would design zombie maps versus Blundell, totally different.
Yeah.
So you would get like BO2 is kind of cut in half, where you have like half of these like Jimmy chaotic maps and then like half structured Jason maps.
yeah.
And I feel like there's something for everybody in there. The
There re-
odds are lower that, one person is going to like all the maps like the same.
Yeah.
But the odds are better that somebody's going to like something out of that package.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised it won at all.
I was gonna say, well, you're a BO3 guy,
Yeah.
and I mean that was right there. But BO1 was also great.
BO1
too.
beat out BO3 on there. I think BO1's very good. In hindsight, I don't think it aged nearly as well as BO3.
I would agree with that. I do like the first map, circling the zombies on stage.
On Kino, yeah.
And I also like that, which it's
Well,
not.
Kino was supposed to be a World at War map.
Yes, and I do like that they brought back the World at War maps in BO1
Mm-hmm.
because I think World at War. Is it crazy to say that could be my favorite zombies?
Yes, that is crazy.
Okay. Sorry.
No.
I
mean,
liked all four maps of them.
the thing is, like, World at War was massively
very
innovative
simple.
every time. It was simple, but massively innovative every
Yes.
time. Like, okay, Nocturne Tone is the first map, right? Got it. Barak, they're like, okay, now there's perks. Now there's traps.
Power.
Yeah, and power. And in the third map, they're like, now there's special enemies. We got
Yes.
dogs. First appearance of the Wonder Waff ever, like a wonder weapon.
And
then
then
Darius was Pack-a-Punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so massively innovative every time. I think World at War is very janky. I was actually playing it very recently, and it's pretty jank.
Don't tell me that. Plutonium or actual World at War?
Like actual World at War.
Oh, that's it. When you play Plutonium with these games, they feel pretty good.
I think they maybe do a few things to like kind of modernize
they
it a
do.
bit.
I think they do.
But I can't help but feel like World at War still a little bit jank in modern day. But it's fun.
Yeah.
Not as much depth in that game to like more modern ones, but it's where it started. You know, got to give. Some
Well, you
props
know
for
me
that.
with like the Black Ops 3. I can't put that at my top because some of those I didn't even know what was going on.
There's a little bit of like a barrier to entry.
I was
there.
doing a super jump in some sort of dark ether planet. What
In
map is that?
BO3?
Is that BO3 or BO4?
Dark Ether Plane doing.
No,
a
I'm
super
making
jump.
that. I mean, that's total wrong words. But I was like, it was BO3.
The only
There
thing I
was-
can think of like is like the jump pad on Dreisendrache, like on the castle, where you like fly.
Maybe
your
then I was
thing to the other
BO4.
Thing.
It might have been BO4. I was
maybe BO4.
Okay, I was in some wild.
BO4 gets
I
kind of
was
crazy.
going,
bro.
what is happening right now? Get me back on the first World at War map, please. I don't know.
I like
where
how
I'm
you
at.
didn't even put BO4 zombies on the.
I didn't even
like,
put it on the list.
poll.
And nobody. I don't think anybody voted it either. But I do. I had an unpopular opinion video say Black Ops 4 was a top COD. Side note.
Mods, get him out of here.
Guy out of here.
Get that guy out of here.
Yeah, BO4 is tough, man. BO4 is a tough COD to talk about
Mhm.
because just doesn't.
You can't even. I mean, you can't even properly rank it in a lot of ways because it doesn't have the same. It doesn't even have a campaign.
Yeah.
You can't. There's like nothing to really like ground it with, so it's tough. But speaking of BO4, BO4 did have something pretty new.
It did have something very new.
It's
You
kind
take
of
this one. Take this one.
okay. It's
Next
kind of
one.
wild to say that like Call of Duty's first ever battle royale was a Treyarch game.
Yes.
Like because
Nobody ever thinks about that.
you associate BR now with Warzone almost like indeterminately. Like
Yep.
that's what it is. But Blackout was the first like try at that. Man, I remember when the Blackout beta came out.
I miss Blackout so much.
Okay, so what I want to know is like, okay, let me check the poll real quick. Let's see how it
Yeah,
did.
you want to read the results and all that stuff, and obviously I think most people know who won this one, but I feel like
Wow.
yeah, it's not
Dude.
good.
Dang.
But
Okay.
I do think the answer is correct. I think
Okay.
their answer is correct.
I'll
but
be curious. I'm going to pick your brain why that is, but
Okay.
lads, get this, all right? Out of the four, and the good news is there's basically
only
only
four.
four BRs, right? we have Warzone 1, Warzone 2, Warzone 3, and Blackout. Warzone 1, 70
150K
out of-
votes.
Yeah, out of 150K votes, Warzone 1 demolished at 78%. Blackout's at 15, and then Warzone 2 is at 2%. Warzone 3.
I
at
wish
4.
that would have been 0.
Yeah.
First of all, I hope somebody misclicked that.
Man.
Like, I think the 2% a misclick.
Or
They were going for Warzone 1 because it's right next to each other.
yeah, either that or they just wanted to troll.
That could be a troll.
I
But
don't.
it was so bad that it only had 2% of trolls.
Can you imagine? That's insane. But yeah, Warzone 1 winning obviously by like a mile, and I think that's pretty self-explanatory. That was the BR to play.
That
It
was
was free.
expected.
That was the COVID thing. But Blackout has a pretty strong 15% there. So
I love the
as a
blackout.
BR guy,
a retired BR guy.
as a hey, I'm a retired zombies player. As a retired Warzone enjoyer yourself, do you actually prefer Blackout?
I miss after playing Warzone for 3 years, doing the exact same thing. Okay, so here's how Warzone goes: you land, you loot up money as fast as you can, and then you go buy a loadout. There is nothing in between to make it like randomized. And I think that's what I miss about Blackout, being like you land, you pick up a swordfish, and you're like, oh crap, I got to use a swordfish this round. It's not, okay, I'm going to go to the buy station, buy my MP5, and we're going to go run and push people. Like,
So-
it loses its like battle royale feel to me.
Yeah. Okay, so like, I'm a big PUBG fan, or I was, and PUBG I think was the best at that kind of like literally just looting gameplay.
I think that's boring though too sometimes.
the looting.
There needs to
and
be an in-between of Warzone and Blackout.
the thing I really liked about PUBG is like, I don't know, maybe just for me, I really like the slow burn. It's like PUBG's kind of like a horror game in a way, where it's like literally 99% nothing. It's a horror game.
It is a horror game.
Yeah, like 99% of your match is doing nothing, but the 1% there's action is the most intense action you will ever experience.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I think the thing I was gonna say with Warzone is I feel like, it was like patently Call of Duty Battle Royale, right? Like Call of Duty, there's never been a game better than COD at doing like class customization. That's their thing, right? Or that's what set it
Yes,
apart.
yes.
And they integrated that into BR with Warzone. Sure, that makes it Call of Duty. And Blackout being more like a loot-based one,
Yes.
I think felt less COD, but I really liked as its own thing quite a bit.
Yeah.
And they did, very interesting, like silly sandbox things during Blackout's life cycle, bro. Like, they did like a jetpack event. I remember talking to somebody at Treyarch, and like they were gonna have like the Origins robots walk around the map.
Just never got updated.
Yeah,
It got
yeah.
updated like 3 times. It was the Blood in the River update. It was like
Yeah, I remember that.
It was like St. Patrick's Day update, and then there might have been one more. But I think Battle Royale has lost the term. At least Call of Duty has lost the term of Battle Royale, because Battle Royale is what? One life to win.
Yeah.
And I think Warzone, dude, you watch people Warzone, there's flares, there's buybacks, unlimited buybacks. You can get brought back into that game 17 times. So it doesn't feel like that was what Resurgence was to me. It was like, okay, Resurgence is if you don't want to do the one life thing, you can go play Resurgence.
And I know you like
that's
Resurgence.
I do like Resurgence
Yeah.
because I think that's like the Call of Duty mix with Battle Royale. That's cool.
Sure.
But I think the main BR needs to be way less buyback.
Battle Royale, like the definition has kind of gotten out of hand.
Yeah, but I think like Fortnite does it kind of well, because you can get the card and you can bring somebody back, but the card also takes a while to get that the truck takes forever to kind of get. Have you played Fortnite recently?
Not
Probably
recently, no. No,
So
I
it's like
haven't.
it takes like
I'm
probably-
familiar with like the card.
so
but-
it takes like 10, 15 seconds, I think, to like get your person back with the card. So you go up to the van and like you buy not buy them back, but like the card revives the person, and it takes like 10 seconds. And as you're doing it, the van like is making all this noise. So you're not just
You're not
quickly
getting it for
bu-
free.
You're not
Yeah.
buying back $4,500 and getting right out of there. It's like
You gotta
people,
commit to it.
like they're buying back right there. Kind of what Apex does too. You have your card. The card goes quick, but the drop ship has to come down and the guy has to fall in. He's got a
Yeah.
pistol. It's like you don't just come back and your loadout's sitting right there.
Yeah.
So I think Warzone needs to do something with the Black Ops version. I wish they would bring out Blackout 2, which we pretty much know is not happening.
Mm-hmm.
But
So, okay, now I have a question for you. I have my own opinions on this, but why do you think Warzone 2, like, did not hit the mark at all?
there's just
I'll let you
there's
go off
just,
on
there's
that if
just
you
too
want.
much, Steven. We might be here the rest of the night. But I think movement is a good. They completely cut the movement. That was a big factor why people didn't like MW2.
Did they reduce the player count in Warzone 2, if I remember correctly?
It was all everything. Everything you can think of was you're going to be correct. Reduce the player count. You couldn't get loadouts in the beginning. There were strongholds with bots.
Yeah, I remember that.
Man, where else? What was it? The vehicles were clunky. I'm just trying to think that you could keep going.
It was kind of trash.
It was just trash. It was straight up trash. And you know, I just didn't. They didn't listen to any feedback. And I think with Warzone 3, we're now at a point where we're backpedaling. Like when Warzone 2 and Warzone 3 should have been like this extension of Warzone 1 and
Sure.
made it 10 times better. And instead, we're just now getting Warzone 3 back to pretty much what Warzone 1 was.
Yeah, I see what
in
you're saying.
2021.
Warzone 2 was like a big regression.
Yeah, it was like, okay, we're going to go back 5 years, and now we're going to work Warzone 3 back to Warzone 1. And yeah, of course, Warzone 3 has brought some stuff that Warzone 1 didn't have, but we could have done that 2 years ago.
Do you think part of it is just people's attachment to,
Verdansk?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that and also like just what that era was.
Well,
like even if they bring
yeah.
Verdansk back, which I'm sure they're going to at some
They're-
point.
yeah.
There's no way they won't. But do you think? Because you know when what was it? Rebirth came out, and then like people loved it for like a couple of days, and then they're like,
Yeah.
eh.
I do think Rebirth has brought a lot of people back, but I mean, the Car 98 thing that just came back, which was like the #1 sniper in Warzone 1, and that came back. Everybody was wanting it back, and now it's been back for like 2 weeks, and people want it nerfed. And it's like,
Classic.
yeah, like what do you want to happen here? So
These are been some interesting picks, like ones that I don't really fully grasp why. You know, I can understand why Warzone won.
Warzone 1 I knew was
Sure.
going to win.
Yeah,
But dude, Blackout was, man, did you play a lot of Blackout?
I did. I honestly played a lot more
Our boy
Blackout
Doug
during
was
the
doing
beta.
pull-ups. He was a big Blackout guy.
Yeah.
Sensor was a big Blackout guy, and he dude, he was crushing it. He played with like Bobby Poff, and dude, I would watch that like every day. It was just, I think it was the One Life thing.
The difference is like there was a
There was a meta, but you had to find the guns.
that and yeah, exactly. But that and it's like also the story of each match was very different.
I wonder if there would have been class setup TikToks back then. Use the maul,
Yeah.
the sniper.
Dude,
Chris is.
you can only imagine.
I was
You can
making
only
fun of a
imagine
couple people.
the
I'm sorry.
content.
I'm sorry. I was making fun of a couple people. I shouldn't have done that on the podcast.
You can only imagine the content that would have been made if TikTok was like
Might have
popping
ruined
during
it.
Blackout.
Might have ruined the game.
I think so.
Because that's another thing too. I always talk about with the games nowadays is there's no discovery.
Yeah.
You know, everybody boots up, gets a JGOD video, and then finds the meta and
I
plays
think that's
with
what
the meta.
BO6 is like trying to do. They literally like said that. They said like we don't want to do any. That's why they're not doing any like map remakes right now or
I
stuff
love
like
that.
that. Like
I love that.
And they're doing a lot of new guns. Is like they want to have that discoverability period that. There's going to be JGOD videos. There's going to be class setup videos. Like
Yep.
day
There
one.
always will be.
There always will be. But I mean, if you can even forestall that a little bit and just give that sense of wonder to the player when they're doing it, I think that goes a long way of people attaching to that game.
I totally
I
agree.
think that's a good way to go.
So, I mean, where were you at with Blackout? I guess I kind of asked you that a little bit, but
Like, I guess if I prefer Blackout or
yeah, but you were
Warzone,
kind of grinding zombies. Like, yeah, what were you? Were you
yeah,
a big Warzone guy?
I feel like
Gotta go
when I played Warzone for, probably its first couple months, like before Cold War came out.
Yeah.
Immediately when Cold War came out, I practically never touched it again. Just because like zombies was consuming all my time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tend to think that I prefer what Blackout did as far as like the sandbox nature of it. It felt more of BR to me. I think I started to get disinterested in Warzone when it started to lose the identity of a battle royale.
Yeah.
When they introduced like
Probably a year
respawns and
in.
buybacks,
Yeah.
and,
I think it had buybacks off the rip.
yeah, I think it may have,
But
but,
it was-
it was low key. Like
was
the
low
whole
key.
like respawning element is pretty low key.
It was harder to do it too.
Harder to do it. You're like the weight of your life felt like a lot more meaningful.
Yeah.
And I think that's because I came off of PUBG, which
Yeah.
is very much like
One
of
life
my
and
best
you
at-
good.
Yeah, maybe
But
not anymore, but
The do they have buybacks in PUBG now?
not since I've played it. But
Okay.
I know that that's what they were doing
Okay.
around the time I stopped
I
playing.
what was I gonna say about Blackout that I really liked? Oh, we've talked about this before, the one with jetpacks. Hot Wheels
yeah.
or something like that. What was it?
There was a I don't remember what it's called, but like you had like race cars and like jetpacks.
Oh man, it was like Hot and Heavy or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
That was a great mode too.
It was cool, and I think that Treyarch is wanting to do fun
Treyarch,
things with it.
I feel like when you let them cook, they just cook.
They like to be goofy.
Yeah.
And you know what? I kind of love that.
I love
sometimes.
Goofy COD.
Yeah.
Except for a couple of skins that are coming out, but I'm
Sure.
I'm okay with it though. Well, Chop, I think that's our whole entire COD awards.
Out of all of the votes, let's call it
what's
like
most shocking to you?
the most shocking to me was easily campaign. I'm not gonna lie. Like
I'm probably with you.
I can't. I
Or
cannot believe
zombies.
that.
I'm probably zombies.
Zombies is like I was a little shocked by that, but also not really, just because I think BO2 is just so appealing.
That's true.
For the hardcore zombie audience, if it's not BO3, it would probably be BO2.
Okay.
So I think there's a lot of like rollover there. I'm not really shocked by MP very much. People love BO2.
That didn't shock me.
And
And Warzone 1 doesn't shock me.
yeah, I'm not surprised about.
I feel like Blackout was also a game that people really weren't playing because of Fortnite.
You think so?
Fortnite was just dominating.
Yeah.
2017, 2018,
That's kind of true. People always
2019.
go like Blackout was paid. That's why it didn't
paid,
like, pop
not
off the same way.
crossplay,
And maybe
dead
that's
on
true.
PC.
Yeah,
There was a number. It was a huge uphill battle, but
for sure. Yeah, but this was very different because I wanted to see what you guys thought.
Yeah.
We had to get the millions of people in the crowd right now.
it's crazy.
We had to get their reactions to everything.
we
and,
have
their
security
opinions.
holding them back from the stage.
Listen, exactly. Like chat, if y'all got opinions about like what was said, the thing is now it can't be directed at us. We are not responsible.
Yeah, we're reading. We're just reading.
Don't shoot the messenger. We were not responsible for the outcomes here. We were just kind of critiquing the situation.
I love that.
But I thought that this was a very successful experiment.
Yes.
We may have to run it again for other things. And I would
It's
like
good to see you in HD, to be honest.
Chat, I'm in HD now. May not be forever, but we're
Yeah,
in
we
HD
might have
over here.
something cooking.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
We do have something cooking, but we
Can't-
just give us a couple
Can't
more
get
weeks.
details on that yet.
Couple
but
more weeks.
Expect something.
Expect something
And I will be in
big.
HD quality.
What was I going to say? Oh, we do have a couple more guests coming on
Mm-hmm.
very soon. Possibly one today if he's going to join us, but that'll be for another.
He's somewhere in the millions of people in the crowd.
He's somewhere
if
in the crowd. We can't even see him.
Yeah.
And then we have a couple people that were I guess involved in Call of Duty, the actual game, that are going to be coming on, and then we have a couple creators.
Yeah,
that are gonna be
I think
coming
we've
on.
got a good breadth. Like, if you guys didn't check out, we had Alex from Modern Warfare on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not just having like gamers and YouTubers on. Like,
Yeah.
we have some cool things lined up. Actually, very excited about our next couple guests. And also,
Dismo, I thought Dismo was fun too.
yeah, that was a good
Dismo,
one.
I like that we're doing the people that are not like the top Warzone.
Typically on
It's-
podcasts and you know,
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
doing the podcast
The typical
rounds
thing.
right? So I think we've got plenty of things that you should be looking forward to. The one that I'm really excited about, I just can't talk about. But one day you're just gonna see it.
You're talking about the one. You're talking about the one of the month, or you're talking about the one in like?
I'm talking
couple
about
months?
Redacted.
Oh, okay, redacted. Redacted's gonna be good.
Y'all know about it, but
Yeah.
I mean, as far as our first this is our first ever live show.
This is our first
That's
live
kind of
show.
crazy.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. I mean, we were planning this for a couple weeks, and we've been wanting to get together, and then it finally happened.
Yeah, I mean, if it's very different, like doing this face to face versus like at home, and if y'all prefer this kind of format, like let us know.
Yeah.
We could try to make that happen more. That'd be really great.
Yeah, I agree. Well, hey, that wraps up episode 15. We want to, I guess, obviously plug, if you're listening on Spotify, make sure you leave a 5-star. Listen, we're at 151 reviews. I mean, I'm going to flex that a little bit.
That's pretty
Apple,
sick, man.
listen, it's 30. I don't know what the Apple people are doing. I don't trust them anyway, you know? So if you want to leave a review on Apple, that'd be great too. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. Follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff.
Yeah. And if you want to join the millions of people in the crowd one day, make sure you're following us on Twitter and stuff like that, because that is the way you'll find out. And you can come through and chill. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, thank you all for
Absolute
listening.
pleasure, man.
We will see you in episode 16, which is very, very soon. We're going to be recording that soon. So
Maybe in like 10
maybe
seconds.
in like 10 minutes.
All right.
All right, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Peace. Thank you, guys. Thank you.